hand
Have
just
you
went
seen
like
her
this
do
'cause
the crab one? She's like sucking on the crab meat.
Oh, wow.
Oh, honey.
Welcome to the OHoney podcast.
Where you get the sticky and the sweet with Summer.
And Amanda and Jonathan. We have Jonathan Bennett. And if you guys don't know, he was the heartthrob.
Oh, stop it. Thank you.
Still
Keep going,
the
keep going,
same
keep going.
on Mean Girls. Everybody probably knows his character, Aaron Samuels.
Yep. Well, that's what they know. Everyone's like, "Oh, you're Aaron Samuels." I'm like, "Well, I played him."
You're like,
but
I have a
15
name.
People
years.
think, what if we introduced you as that?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, imagine.
Yes, yeah.
He'd
He'd
be
be like-
so sad.
He like gets up and he's like, you know what, girls? I can't anymore.
But speaking of Mean Girls, you actually created a cookbook
yes.
based off. This is, by the way, the cutest cookbook I have ever seen in my life, and
So
the pictures
cute.
in it so good. The games in it.
Yep.
So much fun.
The Burn Cookbook. It's an unauthorized cookbook for Mean Girls fans. It's basically, we have everything in there from, it's not regular guac, it's cool guac. and we have fettuccine Alfredo.
I mean,
And then we have sections, our cocktails in the book, which are amazing, is we have happy hours from 4 to 6. That's the name of our cocktail section. We have cocktails, everything in there from the too gay to function Cosmo.
I mean,
to
sign me up.
why are you white Russian?
That's so great.
Nailed it! Nailed it! It's fantastic.
That's
Check
so
out the Burn
good.
Cookbook.
Speaking
So
of
many fun things.
cocktails.
And then we also have, to go with it, Wednesday Rosé, because on Wednesdays we drink pink.
Hey.
You can't sip with us. So you make the book, you make the
My mind is
cocktails,
blown.
Yeah.
you have your girlfriends over, you make the cocktails, you make the food, you have a girls' night, invite your girlfriends over, have some cocktails, but if you're gonna drink, I'd rather have you do it in the house.
Yes, of course, of course.
I feel like that came from.
It
That is hers. That's the
I'm
line.
very on brand.
wait,
Really,
what
but
line
that's
is
from
that
the mom. You know, she's like,
Oh, yes,
Like, 'cause
when the,
if you're
yes,
gonna drink, I'd rather
yes.
have you in the house.
Oh my God, that one went right
It's
over.
okay, it's okay. I've had a lot of coffee and they haven't, so
You're
wow,
quick.
let's go.
I know, I should have had
Somebody's a morning person.
I know, I'm not.
Speaking of Mean Girls, did you remain friends with the cast from Mean Girls, or?
Yeah, I've worked with Lacey Chabert, who played Gretchen. I worked with her 100 times. We've done a whole bunch of Hallmark movies together. And then Daniel Francese, who was Damien. I've been good friends with him. We've worked together a lot. And then, Lindsay, well, it's so funny because in the Burn Cookbook, the first 3 questions, the first thing in the Burn Cookbook that I say is, before we go any farther, let me just get some questions out of the way that you might have. So here we go. No, I don't hang out with Lindsay Lohan every day. Yes, Rachel McAdams is just as amazing and as cool as you had hoped she'd be. I'm aware of what day it is. It's October 3rd. Yes, I know my hair looks sexy, push back, and no, I'm not good at math. So I guess I'm like, let's just get it out of the way now. I just recently linked with Lindsay again for the first time in 14 years. Wow. I hosted her after show for Lohan's Beach Club.
Oh, wow.
Right, so they
cool.
do the after show. I got to host it and kind of do a full half-hour sit-down one-on-one interview with her, which was really fun because we hadn't seen each other in so long that it kind of took us back to being she was 17 when we shot the movie and I was 22, so we literally turned into like kids again, and we just like sat and giggled the whole interview, and she really like let down her guard and just was old Lindsay, just little 17-year-old Lindsay, like giggly and fun, and just was so great. And I haven't talked to her forever, and so once we relinked, now we talk all the time. And then Rachel McAdams, yes, I know you have a question about her.
Yeah, guys, I love Rachel McAdams. Like, my girl
movie?
crush.
She's
my favorite
amazing.
movie from her, Notebook is one of those stereotypical ones.
Yeah.
But she's in a lot of movies that I love.
For a reason,
Mean
though.
Girls.
Right, what else? What else?
Time Traveler's Wife.
Oh, yeah.
She's in, guys, I can't like put on the spot, but I love Rachel McAdams. When I was little, a lot of people used to say I look like her. When I was little, I really did, but now I don't. I like grew out of it. A lot of people are like, oh, you look like her.
now.
But when I was a kid, when I was little, a lot of people thought that. but regardless, I love her. So
Well, okay, so here's the thing. Two things. One, you make it, okay,
Yeah.
when you kiss, here, well, let me give you the tea. All right, so Rachel McAdams, first of all, when you kiss her, everything happens in the world. It's exactly how you want it to be when you kiss Rachel McAdams. Like doves fly and like
Fireworks.
dolphins jump and there's like a light comes down and I like kissed her and I pulled back and I was like, whoa. And if you see on screen in Mean Girls, when you see me pull back and I'm like, huh, that's like a real reaction because I'm like, I get what straight people like. Oh, I get it now. Like, I'm like, oh, I get it. Like, it was Rachel McAdams and she has the softest lips you ever kissed. You're like, whoa. But it's funny because when we were shooting the movie, I actually thought she wasn't being bitchy enough because in the scenes we were watching, like talking to her face to face like this, we weren't seeing what the close-up was getting really tight on her face and those like little subtle movements in the eyes where she'll just give you that little thing.
Yeah.
You couldn't really see that sitting across tables from her and like far. So I was like, I don't think she's being mean enough. And then when we saw the first cut of the movie, we were all just floored. Just completely like, whoa, she nailed it.
was so
you know what I mean? Because you
mean.
don't see her be mean because she's so nice. So if you don't realize, if you don't see that little intimate twinkle in her eye that she's giving that's so brilliant, when you're just filming it, you're like, I don't think she's being mean. And then you get it in the edit, you're like, whoa, you're amazing. But she's fantastic.
Yeah, she's insane. I saw like her audition for Notebook, like her taped audition.
She's so good.
She's just so good.
She's
Like,
so
I
good.
literally love
She's
her.
so good. What's funny is that she had taped The Notebook before Mean Girls. So she had just got done filming The Notebook and came straight to shoot our movie. And what was funny is that she was talking about The Notebook, like, you know, in hair and makeup, we sat and talking about it. She's like, oh yeah, I did this like movie called The Notebook with this guy like Nicholas Sparks and like this Ryan guy. And well, you know, she's talking about it.
like,
We don't know what The
freshen it
Notebook
up.
is yet because it hasn't happened.
You guys are like,
and
oh,
we're like,
good
oh,
for you.
that's cool. Then it comes out and all of us, our mouths just drop. We're like, that's what you were filming before us?
just like,
I would have been
movie.
so nervous to be around her. Thank God I didn't see it ahead of time because I would have been like shaking to be around her.
Dude, she's incredible. That's one person that I would probably fangirl over. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's real.
Besides you.
oh yeah,
Obviously.
but obviously, guys, we don't even have to state
You're
that.
welcome.
So you didn't go out to Mykonos?
No,
and,
I think I'm going to though this year.
Yeah?
I think we're going out this summer.
Ah,
That's
fun.
amazing.
Yeah,
That'd be
it's
so
fun.
fun.
I was there recently, but I didn't make it there.
Did you go to Low Hands Beach Club?
I didn't.
How was it? How was Mykonos?
It was cool. Like, I don't think I did it right, but it was cool.
I
Explain.
don't think I did. That.
How do you not do it right?
Because I have the same birthday as my best friend, so we.
Which is?
King Batch, Andrew Batchelor.
No, when's your birthday?
Oh, June 26th.
June 10th.
Oh, really?
Very good. Go
You're
on.
Gemini, Cancer.
Ah, very good. Yeah, that means we'll be friends. Uh-huh.
So I went out there and we just got a villa, which was awesome. All hung out, had so much fun. But I don't think where we did it right was like planning the beach clubs and stuff because we didn't like reserve tables beforehand.
Right.
We didn't like do all those things.
Yeah.
And we're like just show up and then just like sit in a random spot and like we just
If
figured
you're
it
going
out
to do
later.
Mykonos, you got to do it right.
We didn't plan it.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. You'll learn. No, you know,
learn.
us old veterans, 38.
Which is
You
crazy.
look amazing.
It's
Like
filler and Botox. That's my secret.
secret to success.
No, but you can tell you just look good.
Yeah.
regardless.
You do.
I drink a lot of water and eat kale.
Oh,
That's everyone's like, what's the secret to staying young? And I'll be like getting a chemical peel. I'm like, just really drink a lot of water and eat spinach as I'm like getting like my face covered in chemicals. I'm
you
like,
do
yeah,
have
that's
great
it.
skin though.
Thank
Like
you.
I think that is something internally that you're doing also.
Yeah.
Because
Well, I don't drink. I cut that all out.
But
cut
you
it
have
all out.
rosé.
Yeah.
So you're not gonna come over and pour a glass of rosé
I
with
will
us?
pour it for you. I won't drink it. Yeah, I was like
That's not very
detoxed
in
for the
brand.
past year.
Okay.
It's been great.
Yeah, but that makes
Did a full
huge
detox
difference.
for a year to
That's
like
good.
see
Congrats.
how I feel.
Yeah.
Feels so much
People
better.
don't understand
Yeah.
how much alcohol ages you.
oh my gosh,
When
it
I
affects
see
everything.
girls just at the club and out, they're just like pouring it down. I'm like, bitch, chill.
Bitch,
There's
you
no
are
need for
gonna,
this.
you're gonna regret this.
Because it's
Yeah.
just like, it's not worth it. Like my mom always says that one reason she thinks she looks so good for her age is because she didn't drink a ton of alcohol. Or she didn't do drugs. So
Yeah, I mean it's poison, so
Very good.
it's like
Yeah,
down
yeah,
in
yeah.
that.
okay, guys, but I
Okay,
would
what?
say wine, 1 glass of wine is actually good for you.
But like
get
5 glasses of wine a night.
Yeah.
1 bottle of
Totally
wine a night,
fine.
it's fine.
5 glasses of wine a night is it's
bottle
yeah,
and a
that's fine. Yeah. I gotta send
makes
more wine
sense.
then.
Yeah.
Shit. I gotta
like,
send
I
a
know
case
he's
over.
like, I
Damn,
didn't
I brought 1
know.
bottle.
I know me and Amanda are fighting over it. We're like, no, I'm not.
These hoes over here are drinking all my wine.
I heard you had more in the trunk, so.
Yeah, I do have more.
So
in the
we're
trunk.
gonna rage you. We're gonna walk you out. Usually we just let people leave, but we're gonna be like, okay,
Like,
bye.
But I
so
actually do
much.
have more in the trunk.
Jonathan.
I'm not even kidding. So I carry it everywhere. I'm like, would you like a wine?
See, this is good.
That's good.
And you have a
like a wine.
boyfriend.
I do.
How long have you
Jaymes.
got? James. Hi, James.
Hi, babe.
Hi, babe.
We've been together over 2 years now.
Oh.
It's been a while.
Yeah,
it's been a
getting
while.
serious now.
Yeah, it's getting. We're in the serious.
I feel
We're
like
in the serious phase now.
Anytime you pass the 2-year mark, it's like, okay, you know each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the
Yeah.
first year. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about relationships. I have found the first year is definitely the honeymoon, right? So everyone. It's like the fantasy of what all the good. You see all the good parts of your partner. Then the second year is always the toughest year because all the good parts are there, but then all of a sudden all the bad parts and all the things that you aren't completely open with because you're afraid, of being rejected about like, oh, these are my quirks, these are things,
It starts
you hide all
getting
that. They start to all come to the surface because you can't just be who you want to be in the perfect part of the relationship, right? So then the second year, all the crap comes out.
It starts
And then
surfacing.
it starts
Yeah.
surfacing, and you get through. And if you get through that, and you move, and you get past it, the third year is amazing because it's like I've seen all the good, I've seen all the bad, and I still love you, and I want to be with you. And so the third year is when it starts to get really, I don't know, just really great. Like that's
Yeah.
when you feel really grounded together because the first year's it's honeymoon, it's just all that.
like,
But the second year, shit comes out, and then if you are able to like still love each other through all the shit, then you're golden.
Terrible twos.
Yeah, terrible twos.
Yeah,
I mean,
the
have you
second
found that
year.
how long have you been together?
Oh,
A while.
yeah, well,
Over a year?
I think like almost 3 years.
Okay.
Yeah. But that always changes when people ask me because they really don't know.
It's okay. But
Nah.
like in the beginning-ish year, did you find that like at the
Yeah.
honeymoon? Then the second year, it kind of
Well,
bubbles up a little.
For me, it was a little bit different because we were friends before.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I knew him, and I also like knew a lot about him already
Mm-hmm.
before I started dating him. So kind of knew what
Right.
everything I needed to know
Yeah.
a little bit. But you do find out like the quirks of like living with somebody.
Yes,
It's like
that's it. Like the second
Yeah.
year we moved in together, so it's like you start living together.
that's
all
a
this
whole
shit.
other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you're like, okay, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't do that either.
All right, he doesn't like
Yeah.
that, Rob.
Yeah, so it's like you have your list of like, I don't like it when you do that. Can you please do this? And then vice versa. And then you kind of like balance and see where you can meet. And then, then you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes I just have moods where everything just annoys me. Do you
Yeah.
ever have moods where it's like they're chewing next to you and you're like, oh my god.
Oh my God! Yes, that's the one thing. When I
always go
did
to the
Celebrity
chewing.
Big Brother,
I'm like, oh my God.
when we just did Big Brother, they asked me I was on the past season of Celebrity Big Brother, and they
Oh,
asked
awesome.
me what's the one thing a housemate could do that would drive you nuts, and I said eat cereal. Cereal next to me,
The slurping.
especially my boyfriend because he is a caveman.
Oh.
He is the caveman of like he is so barbaric in
Yeah.
the way he eats food. He's 6'3" and he's just like blah, 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 like comes in, and when he eats cereal next to me on the couch while we watch TV, oh, I literally I'm like
cringe.
I can't.
And for me, it's like every single like bone in my body not to say anything. I'm like talking to myself. I'm like, don't say anything. Don't say anything. It's fine.
Yes.
It's fine. And then I put like I take a little jab. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay.
Or
well.
you like turn up the TV.
I know.
And it's like passive aggressive.
You know-
And so he will now eat. He'll sit down. If he brings cereal into the living room while we're watching TV at night, I'll be on one side of the couch. He will seriously sit on the other side and eat.
You got him trained.
And he's like, sorry, babe, I'm eating cereal. I'm just going to eat it. And
Oh, so
you
he
just
knows
like-
to keep
So now he
subsistence.
knows, like, cereal, that's the deal breaker.
Yeah.
I can't. I can't do it.
Just can't.
Can't do it.
Well, that's good.
I hate any
balances
mouth
that.
noises. Like, it's just a thing that's so annoying to me.
I'm just gonna do
What's
that all
up
the
with
time.
the people? What are those things called where they do the microphones next to it?
Oh, the
ASMR.
mukbang.
Oh, no, the ASMR. The
What does that
mic.
stand for?
Something
Does anyone know that?
simulation, something,
What is
something.
it? It's like sound.
We'll have it.
You don't know this? I feel like you would know this.
How do you know it? He's like,
He's a sound guy.
Yeah. Oh,
oh,
Chris, you don't know?
What does it mean?
Autonomous sensory meridian response.
Hate it.
Oh, didn't.
hate it.
Wouldn't have guessed that.
They're like
Yeah.
eating the pickles.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Dude,
That's
oh
the first
my
one
gosh,
I watched
so
was that
bad.
lady eating the pickle, and she's like, "I'm gonna eat the pickle."
I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate
Like
it.
when she's
See, like my hand
have
just
you
went
seen
like
her
this.
do
'cause
the
I hate it.
crab one? She's like sucking on the crab
yeah.
meat.
Oh wow!
Oh, my
People
goodness.
would watch your ASMR somewhere.
Nope.
Jonathan, would you
So
watch
Jonathan
mine?
would block you.
Nope. I won't watch.
He's like, I'm done.
Nope. I would not.
That's how you know Jonathan is not interested
Done.
in females. He's like, I will not watch her.
I will not.
I will not
I don't
watch
want
your
what you're
ASMR.
selling. You can do it. You can do it fucking naked, and I would be like,
like-
nope. Good night. Good night. Bye.
Bye.
This is like a fantasy for a lot of you, huh? Like being in a love sack with these two ladies.
Literally, you
Jonathan's
are.
like,
You should
I'd rather
see what
be
we
home.
do when the cameras are off. Just kidding.
What do we do?
Nothing.
Um,
Nothing.
mukbang.
Yeah.
So, how did you meet your boyfriend?
Okay, so here's the story. I was auditioning, or not auditioning, what was I doing? Oh, I was promoting Halloween Wars, which is my Food Network show, and I had to go get interviewed by this guy, Jaymes, from Celebrity Page TV. So we go to the Grove, because that's where the interview is, and I'm with my publicist, and we go out, that's very funny. I had just done like Access Hollywood in the morning, and we went to the Grove, and it was our final interview of the day, and I wasn't really into it, and I said, fine, let's go do this. So I show up, and I'm walking by, and they're setting up out in the middle of the Grove where the interview's gonna be.
Yeah.
And I look over, and I see this blonde guy with blue eyes and blonde hair, and he's 6'3", and he's gorgeous. And I look to my publicist, and I say, who is that? Is that the guy interviewing me? And he's like, yeah. And I was like, look up his name, look up his name. So then we're going through the emails, and like, we're on the outskirts, I'm walking by, we're going through the emails.
Pre-stalking him?
Yeah, and I said, find his name, and he finds his name, Jaymes with a Y. So we go to Instagram, and I type in Jaymes with a Y. First thing that comes up on his Instagram bio, proud LGBT member,
like,
blah, blah, blah. I go, yes! I gotta do my hair. And so then I run to the bathroom, and I'm like, I gotta fix my hair, because he's so cute, I gotta look good. And then my publicist was concerned. He's like, you were gonna do the whole interview without worrying about your hair, but now that the guy's cute, you're gonna do your hair? I'm like, yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Have you read the bio?
Yes, and so then I went to the bathroom, did my hair. I walk out, and his producer's waiting there, and she goes, hi, and I meet Jade, and I meet her, and she goes, oh, let me take you over to meet Jaymes. And I go, is that gonna be my future husband? She said, possibly. So we walk up, we meet. Now the backstory on this is, true story. So he has to interview me. He wants to get out of the interview because he had never seen Mean Girls. He had no clue anything about that. I wasn't really his type that he usually goes for. And he was with his best girlfriend, and they were talking, and he said, I gotta interview some kid, Jonathan Bennett. And she goes, from Mean Girls? And she said, you have to do it. And he's trying to get out of it. She goes, no, you have to do it because I need to go and get a video of him saying, what day is it? So I can post it on October 3rd. You have to do this. And he said, fine. I'll go, but you have to be my assistant. And she said, okay, fine. So they come to the Grove. She's acting as his assistant so she can get a photo with me. I don't know that she's acting as his assistant. And then I meet her as his assistant. And now I'm pissed that he's on Celebrity Page and he has an assistant, and I'm on Food Network and I don't have an assistant. He hosts that and I don't even have my own assistant.
Emailing your
so now
people.
I'm mad. I'm like, this guy gets an assistant. I'm on Food Network and I don't have an assistant. That's crap. And so I'm pissed off.
So many emotions.
Yes, so many
In
emotions.
love and pissed.
In love, and then we meet. We're standing there talking to each other. We literally just start flirting during the interview. Like, we can't contain our emotion, and we have it all on film because they're filming it, and we literally can't contain how like giddy we are. We're like little girls, like giggling and laughing the whole time. And a fan messaged me after and said, I was going to come up and ask for a picture with you at the Grove, but I saw what was happening and I didn't want to interrupt. A fan was like, nope, I can see what's, like everyone, all the producers are going, what's going on? And we're like, I don't know. I don't know. We can't stop like laughing and we just are blushing the whole time. So then we're leaving, and it's over, and I asked him for his number. He gave it to me. I get in the car. I'm driving home with my publicist, and I said, okay, I got his number, and my publicist says, you're going to wait 3 days to call him. I'm like, absolutely. They drop me off, immediately call him.
You're like, yeah.
Hi. He's like, he goes, what took you so long? I was like, is it weird if I want to come back and kiss you just to even see if this works? Like, let's just see if this is going to be a thing. He's like, no, that's not weird at all. I go, good, because I'm already driving. Drive back to the Grove. He's in the parking lot of the farmer's market. He's looking for me. I'm looking for him. We're on the phone. I go, where are you? Where are you? We finally see each other. We run up. We just look at each other, and I go, I just need to see if this is really what I think it is. We kiss. It's like doves fly. It's like
Rachel
McAdams.
It's Rachel McAdams. He's my Rachel McAdams.
Oh my
yes.
gosh.
Everything happens. Doves fly. We pull away. I go, great. So dinner tonight? He's like, great. So then I pick him up. We go to the beach. We sit on the beach for like 4 hours. We don't even have dinner. We just sit on the beach in the dark, talk, listen to the ocean in Santa Monica. It was amazing. And then we both find out like our dads had passed away the same year. So we like really connected on that. So many connections. And then, yeah, that's how it
That's
happened
his
ever
history.
since. And that's now, here we are sitting here on a podcast talking about you 2.5 years later.
Jaymes with a Y.
Love you, babe. Jaymes with a Y.
Yeah.
He's got way more
but
swag
did
than me.
Did the
Does
assistant
he?
get the picture?
What?
Did his
Oh.
assistant get the picture?
Yes, she has it. Reebsicle has the photo on
Reebsicle.
Instagram. Reebsicle, she has the photo and she put it on Instagram. And now her and I are like besties.
And now she gets all the
Yeah,
pictures.
yeah. We
She's
send her
like,
everything.
this relationship is great.
Yeah.
Like, I love this.
She actually, here's the funny part. So in the Burn Cookbook, she's the reason I made the Burn Cookbook because she came up with the idea.
Really?
We
That's
made
so great.
we made guacamole and we put pomegranates and apples in it one day. She goes, oh, I want to try this. My mom does it. So she put pomegranates and apples in the guacamole and she gave me a chip and handed it to me and I tasted it and she goes, it's not regular guac, it's cool guac. And I go, what did you say? She's like, it's not regular guac, it's cool guac. And I was like, oh. And that's how the book was born.
This is so
I was
great.
like, and I just look at her and I go, fetch a chini Alfredo. And I go,
then
we
you
have to
guys
write a
are
book.
going back and forth.
So that's it. Like Jaymes, like we meet, and like he was the reason. She's really the reason. We have everything to owe. I owe everything in my life now to Reebsicle because
Yeah, you
she
do.
made me meet my boyfriend because she made him come and she made me start the Burn Cookbook. So
Yeah.
Reebsicle, I owe it all to you.
Yeah.
Really fantastic.
I owe it all
Shout out to
you.
Reebsicle.
She's
And by the
Reebsicle.
way, cool nickname.
Right? Her name is
Yeah.
Marie, but we call it Reebs. She's real tough.
Reebs.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
And I remember like a year ago you telling me about the cookbook at the
Yeah,
gym.
at the gym, I come in, I'm like, I'm gonna make a cookbook. You're like, oh, cool. I'm
You're
like,
like,
no, really.
"Oh, why are you talking to me at the gym about a cookbook?
Yeah, right.
I'm like, Jonathan, I'm trying to get my body right. Stop talking about food.
Talk about someone that needs to work on her body a little bit. Oh, it's perfect.
I don't think the
It's
cookbook
perfect.
would hurt you whatsoever.
Thank you.
So you mentioned your dad passing away.
Yep.
And that happened how long ago?
It'll be 5 years ago.
Wow. And you were saying you do a soul cycle class.
Oh no, Cycle Bar.
Cycle
So
Bar.
yeah, I teach a spin class for charity to raise money for Stand Up to Cancer on his birthday, just to raise money and do something in his honor, because that's the best thing. Anytime something in life happens that's a tragedy, the best thing you can do is figure a way to take that and turn it into a positive, and that's real action, not Instagram action. Right?
Yeah.
Like, oh, I want to do this. And then there's no actual follow through with it actually happening, which I'm sure you guys see a lot of people doing on
Yeah.
Instagram, where it's you got to put your money where your mouth is and you actually have to step up and show up and do actual good in the world that makes a difference and changes people's lives. And so that's what I try to do, and I do it a few times a year for him. But yeah, both my parents passed away 5 years ago, which was crazy. My mom had a lung situation, and my dad died of brain cancer. So it was a very strange year. I grew a lot. It really forces you to grow up a lot when you do that. So it made me a better person today for it happening. There's a lot of things I miss about having them. You know, there's so many things that are going on in my life that I want them to be a part of and I want them to see. But I think them passing away made me grow up and be the best version of myself because I had to be. If that makes sense.
It's hard, right? In the same year. That's like
My mom passed away, and then my dad called like 4 months later and was like, I have brain cancer. I was like, funny. Oh wow, you really do. So it was just two separate things, just completely
I can't even
random.
imagine.
Yeah, it was awful.
Yeah.
But you know, that's what you do. You turn it into a positive. Like, what can we do? What can this do? This will make me be my best version of myself. You know.
What made you realize, okay, that's the step that you need to take to help cope with everything that's going on? What did you go through, a year of mourning, or how was that whole process?
You know, I got depressed a lot. I think what happened is they passed away so quick, so close to each other in time that I never had time to mourn my mom. And so then when my dad died, the weird part was I was like good at funerals.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, I got this. And
Yeah.
I was like, I shouldn't have this. I shouldn't be able to be like, oh, I just did this. I'm good at it. Like, that's not a good quality to have, you know?
Yeah.
And so I wasn't able to process her loss when I had to start processing my dad's loss. So the year after that was really dark for me, and just I went and did Dancing with the Stars and thought that would like re-spark it, and it didn't. And it wasn't really until I got into like fitness and I started teaching spin, because I really enjoyed spin is what got me through a lot of it, because the endorphins and just the energy in the room and the release that happens during a class was really important to me. And so once I did it enough, I realized I wanted to be up there inspiring other people. So I went and got certified and then started teaching spin class in between shooting all my shows. My agents hated it. They're like, Jonathan Bennett has a real job. I'm like, no, I just want to do this.
Yeah.
But it really helps. So now I use it to motivate other people and, you know, use it to bring good into the world from all the things that I've learned for the past 5 years. You know, things that really struck a chord with me is what now I share with other people.
That's awesome, because you know, I'm sure there's a lot of people out there, like whether it's parents or siblings and you know, that have passed away, and like a lot of people do obviously like get really sad and depressed because you're losing somebody so close to you. And to have a way to kind of, there's no like book, like word by word way or step by step way to, you know.
Yeah, that's what I learned, is that everyone there's no rules when someone passes away. Like if you know someone that's passed away, or you have friends that, or anyone that is dealing with the loss of someone, there's no rules, and it can happen. Everything you want to do or don't want to do is okay. And that's what I had to learn. Like, there's no rules. Like, the funerals are not for us, or not for them, it's for us, right? Like, all those things, like, there's no rules to how someone should grieve, how it should happen. So always just have a lot of grace with people and let them deal with it on their own time. And the way they're acting when that happens probably isn't how they're, you know, it's not representative of who they are. It's just what they're going through, you know?
Yeah.
How long ago did this happen? Like, were you with
5
your
years ago.
Oh, so you weren't with your boyfriend yet?
No. But that, you know, that's the one thing, is I wish he would have been able to meet my parents, and it sucks. But he's fantastic, and you know, he's given me a sense of family, which is great, because I don't have that. So that's what we're doing now.
Do you have siblings, or?
I have a half sister and 2 half brothers.
Are you guys close?
Yeah, we're close. We talk. Not like, we never grew up together.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until my dad passed away that we all really got close. But
it's funny
been
how
great.
like a tragedy is what.
I bet in something positive, right?
Yeah.
See, that's the whole goal of my life.
Yeah,
Right.
it brings people together. Well,
So your mom and dad were married, or?
No,
divorced?
they were divorced, but they were like good friends.
yeah. But still. I mean, and then your boyfriend went through something similar also. So, you know, that's like, I'm sure you guys talk about things.
We do. And it was funny, on May 1st, like 2 years ago, which is my dad's birthday and the day he passed away, which is weird. But my dad was a big pilot, and he loved flying, and him and I love airplanes. I love airplanes. And he would fly to get the most expensive hot dog there was at Jimmy's Hot Dog, because him and his friend would take their little plane in Tennessee and fly about 100 miles to the neighboring town and go to this place called Jimmy's Hot Dog that they loved, and then fly back. But they joked that it was a $120 hot dog because you have to pay for the gas of the plane.
Yeah.
So it was like, it just gave them a place to go because they just love flying. So it's like, here's a destination. So we call it the expensive hot dog. They'd go and get one and fly back. And so on May 1st, Jaymes went and got hot dogs and took me to Las Vegas. We were in Las Vegas, and took me to the end of the runway at McCarran Airport, or McNamara, whatever it's called. And we sat at the end of the runway eating hot dogs, and he surprised me. He's like, I want you to tell me about your dad. Tell me like 3 good things that I didn't know. And I just bawled, like sitting there just to know, like, when you lose someone like
I just
that,
got chills.
you want to like talk about them. You know what I mean? Like, you want to talk about them and like have a real moment and share so you don't forget.
Yeah.
So he took me there, gave me hot dogs, and was like, let's talk about them, while planes were landing above us, and I was just, it was the coolest thing.
That's
amazing.
so sweet. And
So that's
so
what we try to
thoughtful.
do. Like, on the anniversary and stuff, we always try of each other's, try to like do something just to like, hey, let's acknowledge it, you know?
You're like,
That's
how do I compete with this one?
Yeah, I know, right? I'm like, here's a giraffe. Hey, yeah.
I know, he set the bar pretty high.
I know,
he
he
did.
always
Damn it.
does that.
Damn
I
it,
hate
James
him.
with a
I hate it. James with a Y, you always set the bar too high.
That's what rhymes.
I know.
But I feel like there's always one person in the relationship that is like the better gift giver.
I am the better gift giver. He's better at sentimental stuff.
Yeah, but that's what, like, okay. I think Jaymes is better.
Yeah, he is better. He is, yes.
Just because the gifts are usually the best gifts are the sentimental
I know.
stuff. You know.
I like to
I
be
know.
spoiled.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Get over it.
Well, let's dive
Let's
into
go.
the honey pot.
So we have
Ooh.
fans send in
Let's go.
questions, stories about their love life, or
Let's go.
stuff they need
The honey
advice
pot.
on.
Yeah.
We're not experts, but we do what we can.
Let's
do
go.
what we can.
Honey pot. Let's see the sticky
We're
and the
just your
sweet.
friends.
We're
You
just
can
your
sit with
friends.
us today.
Yeah,
We're going to talk
you
to you.
can sit with us
Yes.
while we talk about the honey pot.
Yes. All right. So, all right. Fan question number 1. Oh, honey. I've been with my boyfriend for 5 years, and I'm ready for him to pop the question already, but he hasn't yet. Whenever I start to talk about our future too, he kind of pushes the questions away. Should I bring up marriage, or will that push him away further? I can't tell if he's just not ready yet, or if I'm just not the person for him.
Well,
He's getting ready, cracks his
okay,
neck.
yeah. Let's go in for the answer.
Yeah.
See, I have a weird feeling about this. I have a weird take on this. Do we know if marriage just isn't for him, or is it?
We need more details.
Yeah, because I know people that have been together for 15 years and they're not married, and they have the best relationship of anyone I know. So it's also the ideal of marriage. Like, what is marriage? Sometimes it works for people because they need it, and sometimes relationships work better actually when they're not married. So for someone to not be popping the question, she needs to have a conversation with him about what marriage means to him and what marriage means to her and why she wants it, to see if there's a difference, if they have different opinions, and then have a conversation about it. Because the biggest thing in relationships is communication. It's so simple, but so important, and it's so redundant and cliche. Like, relationships are all about communication, but they are.
Yeah.
That's what they're about. Like, you don't know what the other person's thinking all the time. For example, like, James will be mad about something, or I'll feel like he's upset about something, and I automatically, it's me. I've done something wrong. What did I do? Start racking my brain. I start freaking out, and then I'm like, what's wrong? And he's like, oh, my brother, blah, 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 or my boss just did this, and like, I'm trying to figure out how to make that, make fetch happen. No, I'm just kidding. I'm trying to figure out how to make whatever happen. And so then I go, oh, so it's not me. He's like, no, babe, not at all. So there's so many things in a relationship that can be solved with communication, because she doesn't know what he's thinking. Maybe he has a completely different opinion of why what if marriage works or if it doesn't for him, for what is his past, what are his parents, what does marriage look like to him through his experiences. So definitely just communicate and be like, what does marriage mean to you? Here's what it means to me. Because you're always okay, and it's always okay for you to feel the way you feel, and it's always okay for you to have your feelings. So whatever feeling you have,
You're validated.
it's okay because you're having that feeling. So if you're sad, you're mad, you're angry, you're happy, you want marriage, that's okay. He can't tell you it's wrong, but he doesn't know what you're thinking. Maybe he doesn't care either way about it. And if you communicate to him how important it is to you, he'll see your side and say, oh, great, hold on. Will you marry me? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You never know.
Right.
It's like, oh, that's what you want? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
And
didn't
when
know.
people like assume things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's always, what does that say?
The
Make
four
an ass out of you and
agreements.
me?
The four agreements. Do you know the four agreements?
Huh?
It's the best book ever. Be impeccable with your word. Don't make assumptions. Don't take anything personally, and always do your best. When it comes to don't take anything personally, everything we do is for our own personal validation and our own personal satisfaction. Even though we say it's for other people a lot of times, oh, I did this for them. No, everything you do in your life is like everything you do to me has nothing to do with me. It's all stuff that has to do with you. Everything that I do to you has nothing to do with you. It has to do with me. And it's the weirdest concept, but once you read the book and understand it, you're like, wait, we react because we're in our own reality. So I'm living in my own reality. You're in your own. Your relationship to this beanbag is different than my relationship to a beanbag. It's a little trippy. You
Let's
gotta
talk
read the
about
book.
this beanbag relationship.
It's a little trippy.
he
You'll
keeps
see. Read the
rubbing
book.
on the beanbag.
Read the book. Next
and-
It
question.
seems like you really like this beanbag.
Next question. Go into that honey
He's good
pot.
at these.
I know,
We
he's
should have
really
like racked
great.
up some more questions for today.
That was great. Okay, question number 2.
Go.
So I hooked up with this guy I actually like, but now my friends are making fun of me, saying that he looks like a clown. Not nice, I know. And usually I would brush it off and move on, but I actually want to pursue this guy because I like him. But I feel embarrassed because my friends are making fun of him. What should I do?
Get better friends.
Right? That's what I was saying. What
Yes,
friends
like
are-
your friends are bitches,
Yeah.
asshole. Your friends are bitches.
Yeah.
and you don't need them. That's it.
Yeah.
Now, you can really
100%.
tell a lot of who your friends are. What I've learned in life is that you can tell who your friends are when you're going through something serious and when it's this is a dramatic example, but like when you're on top of the mountain, everyone wants to be your friends. When you fall down that mountain and you're at the bottom, you look around and you find out who your friends are. And so when there's something like this, she needs to tell them, hey, cut it off, I like this guy, and see how they respond. If they respond with anything other than we want what is best for you, and if you want that, we want that, they don't have to be for him, but they have to be with you. So you don't have to be the biggest fan of him, but if you're my friend, you have to be with me and support that I want this.
Yeah.
And if they do anything other than that, they're not your f***ing friends.
Yeah.
100%.
Bye.
Preach.
Thank you. Next.
What about if it was family that was doing it? Would it be the same thing? Like,
Yeah,
get rid of
like
them?
it doesn't matter. Like everyone what I've done this past 2 years, I'd say, is I surround myself with people that want me to shine and want me to be the best version of myself, and that's hard for a lot of people to take sometimes. That's hard for a lot of people in your life who know you as one way to see you grow and change into the best version of yourself and to accept that and to
Right.
like be friends with that person.
Not
I'm
be
like,
like,
I'm a
"You've
different person than I was 2 years ago. I'm like, yeah, I have.
Yeah.
And you're trying to cling on to this old version of me, and I'm
Yeah.
not that version anymore.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to sometimes that old version leaves, those friends want to just be friends with that version of you, and that's fine, but that doesn't exist anymore. So bye, you have to go be friends with them because that's not me. So, and that's okay. And that's okay. And life's about change. A lot of times too with friends, here's the thing. I'm friends with a lot of people that I've been friends with for the past 10 years, 15, 20 years. But I'm also not friends with a lot of people I've been friends with for the past 5 years. So your life will evolve and change, and that's okay to not be friends with everyone that you've always been friends with. It's okay for you to like have people come in and out of your life. And it doesn't mean that it's bad or anything good. It's neither here nor there. You can evolve, and as you evolve, your life is going to change, which means your friends are going to change. The worst thing is to sit around and, 50 years from now and not grow and not do anything. Like, you grow. And as you grow, if things change in your life, that's okay. Life is change. Like, you got to remember that.
Is jealousy ever a thing?
I'm so glad you brought that up. One of my favorite quotes, and I have to say, one of my favorite quotes and it's a song lyric, is, I don't shine if you don't shine. And that is so important. Think about that. Think about what those words are. I don't shine if you don't shine. And in a relationship, whether it be your friend, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your roommate, because we're not ready to say it's a thing yet. It's okay, we've all been there in college, we get it. I lived with my roommate for years too. But I know, stay with me guys, stay with me. I don't shine if you don't shine is so important because it is the basis of what will make or break a relationship. And Jaymes and I do the exact same thing. We both are hosts. We both are in the entertainment industry. We both are up for some of the same jobs. I'm elderly and my knee is locking up. We're both up for a lot of the same stuff. And you would think there'd be jealousy there or resentments, and there's not, because I found a person that I literally want to see do well. Like, I'll go in for a job, and if it's not right or I'm up for it, I'm like, I don't think I'm going to get this. It's not the right vibe. I'll be like, yo, this isn't right for me, but my boyfriend you should definitely look at. Or and he'll do the same thing. He'll go in and be like, I know you want like more of a name. I might not be right for this, but my boyfriend's great, because we run our relationship as two kings, one kingdom. There's no king and a queen or a king and a prince.
Right.
Two kings. Because if both of you rule a kingdom, that's two kingdoms brought together. So I want him to do so well. I want him to have all the happiness. I want him to shine and be the best thing he can be. And he wants the same thing for me. So I'll be at photo shoots, I'll be at work, I'll be filming something, and he is there making sure, do you have everything you need to eat? Are you there? Do you need food? I'm gonna bring your clothes. Do you need that change? What are you gonna wear? Who's gonna do your makeup? Here, let me fix your hair. Like, he's on it. And when he's working, I do the same thing to him. We call it the Michelle Obama factor. Michelle Obama is amazing. And she does a lot of great things. Barack is the president. So we call it Michelle Obama-ing. Like, if he has an event that weekend where he's hosting or he's the MC or he's got something big going on, I'll go with him and I'll be like, I'm gonna Michelle Obama this weekend, which means I'm gonna be there and I'm gonna be graceful and I'm gonna take pictures and I'm gonna do my part, I'm gonna help, but I'm gonna let him be center of attention and I'm gonna let him be the guy. But I'll still be there supporting, and people wanna talk to me and I'll have great things to say. And then some days I'll go and he's like, oh, I'm gonna Michelle Obama with him in New York for the Mean Girls book launch. So he'll come in Michelle Obama and he'll just be there to support and also help. But it's the biggest thing in a relationship is I don't shine if you don't shine. You have to find someone, whether it's your boyfriend, your friends, you have to support each other. And you have to realize that if you don't do good, then I don't do good, because we're all a team, whether it be a group of friends, whether it be a boyfriend. Like, if just I'm doing good, well, then what's the point? Because we can't go to the same restaurants and have dinner because you won't be able to afford it if I'm successful and you're not. And I don't want to pay for your ass. It's like you can get to the money level, but also just the success and the confidence and the happiness level. Like, if we're not all doing well together, then what's the point? Like, we all rise together. And that's why I'm such a huge advocate in, if there's a connection that can be made between people in your relationships or in business, make the connection. Don't wait for your friends to reach out and ask. If there is a connection you see that you can make that might better one or two of your lives, well, for example, my friend that owns the vineyard, Stephen Amell, for Knocking Point Wines, reached out and was like, oh, you have a book coming out. Do you want to do a wine collaboration for April? I said, yeah, great. That'd be so fantastic. But, just don't ever wait for people to ask you to connect them. Because if you're a real friend and you really want what's best for them, you would spot it and you would already connect it without them asking. Because when you start doing that, when you start connecting each other, when you start connecting your friends, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, when you start connecting them in every aspect of the world and start making the vibrations happen, you will notice that everyone will start to rise. There's not a coincidence that in a group of friends in LA, one person of actors, one person books a job on a show, then the next person books a job on the show, then all of a sudden, all 5 of you, all 6 of you, all of a sudden within the same year, book major gigs and all start working. It's because the vibration happens. Like when that starts spiraling and you start building that energy, it literally pays off and like everyone rises. So just don't wait. Help your friends out without them asking. So important.
I love that you brought, and nobody has brought that up on a podcast, but like, or even just, you know, people do it, but they don't really put the reasoning behind doing it, which is like, yeah, you like, it comes from, you know, being genuine and just truly wanting to help your friends. Like that's like where it essentially comes from. But like even my manager, she does it to the point of like, she knows I have a friend that this would be great for my friend. And then she just goes out of her way to make this insane connection for my friend too. And I'm like, that is awesome. Like, you know,
because I don't shine if you don't shine. You don't shine if your friends don't shine.
Exactly.
You know, that's just, there's no point. Like, what's the point? For just one person to be successful and everyone to like revolve around them? No, let's all be successful. Let's all be the kings of kingdoms. Let's Game of Thrones our life. Like 7 kingdoms, all the kings rising together, all of them living in the same world.
Like even Adam Sandler and all of his friends, he puts all of his friends in all of his movies.
I always see the same people in
Yeah,
his movies.
and
Right,
you're
because
like, but
they
you
want to
love
work with
it.
his friends.
Yeah, and people want to see that too. I want to see you all rise
100%.
together. But yeah, I think that's a great note to leave off on.
All right.
I think that's awesome. So make sure you guys check out the links in the description to find all of Jonathan's stuff, and also make sure you get the cookbook. And
Yeah, guys,
the
get
Wednesday
the cookbook.
Rosé,
Change your life.
The Burn Cookbook.
The Burn Cookbook. And make sure you download all of our podcasts. You can on
Spotify, Apple
Podcast.
Apple Podcast. Guys, it's early, okay? My brain doesn't start working until like 11. I'm like really
and
quiet.
subscribe to our YouTube channel, comment below,
Thumbs
what you
up.
like, give us all that good stuff, and send in your diary entries to diary@ohoneydiary.com. We love you guys. Thank you so much, Jonathan.
Thank you
And
guys.
we'll see you later.
Love you.
Bye.
OHoney.
Diary LLC makes no warranty or guarantee as to the accuracy or sufficiency of the information featured in this podcast. The information and recommendations presented in this podcast are general opinions only.
This podcast should not be considered professional or expert advice. Reliance on the information provided in this podcast is done at your own discretion.
Oh, honey.